Welcome back to another trip, man. Y'all here with Sire, and we got Naila, storyteller, entrepreneur. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, ma'am. I thank you for pulling up, and I just want to know, tell the people, what are you into now? What can they expect from you moving forward?
Okay. Yeah, so my background, I'm a journalist by trade. That's why I always go with storyteller. And I'm an entrepreneur and creative. So one of my main businesses is Voice and Vision Agency. That is a digital marketing agency that does everything from press support, content creation, social media management, and media coaching. I worked with a couple of businesses throughout the city and other entrepreneurs and creatives, just to name a few. Roots 101, African American History Museum, the Presley Post, Jasmine Presley from the Presley Post, and then Joy McAtee. So I've had a really fun time doing that in the community, helping people tell their stories. But I also have another business that is Crayon Maison that I co-founded and co-own with my cousin Deja. And we are a creative duo, so we can pretty much bring someone's vision to life, whether it be an event or it be something that does with videography or photography. So most recently, we've been working on a project called Who Art You? We're gonna have a gallery coming up very, very soon. Very, very soon. But at the heart of it, we love highlighting and bringing different creatives together. So we have 8 different creatives and just showing who they are in their natural state, but then also who they are when they create. So that's the little tidbit I can give you about that. Yeah.
Yeah, stay tuned. You said, who aren't you?
Yeah, who art you?
That's nice. That's nice. So what got you into storytelling? Is it something that happened in your life that transitioned, I need to tell stories because this?
For sure. So it's going to get a little sad. So when I would have maybe been 14, 15 when Trayvon Martin was killed. And at the time I was still living in Louisville. I was going to Ballard, and I remember just really watching how the coverage was. You know, over and over we kept hearing about the hoodie, the Skittles, the Arizona, but then it was just the way that George Zimmerman was being depicted, and then how Trayvon Martin, this child, I think a lot of times people forget that Trayvon was a child, was depicted throughout the time from when it first happened, and then even during when they took it to court. I did not like to see that. So what's so funny is I remember I started doing YouTube. I've always been a person that's been, outspoken. So I was making videos telling people how to protest or how they can, just get involved and take it more seriously. Community engagement. Thank you. Community engagement. And from there, I think that just kind of lit a fire in me. Also was a theater kid. I used to be on stage doing musicals and plays and things like that. So storytelling has always kind of been at the heart of who I am. So when I went to University of Kentucky, naturally I studied journalism, and from there that's where I built my core storytelling skills.
Okay, that's nice. And what would you say is your ideal clients for Voice and Vision Agency? And is it different from Crayon Maison? Do I kind of focus on 2 different avenues of who to work with?
That's a good question. I think for Voice and Vision and even Crayon Maison, as far as ideal client, it's anyone that's ready, that has a plan, that has a vision and wants to have it executed. Someone who just is, eager, wants to learn, to engage. We want to bring, whatever your vision is to life. Since I have the skills that I have, I can definitely, if you give me an idea, I can just bring it to life for you. But I also like, to be able to engage with people. They tell me, just a tidbit. I love working with mood boards, or if somebody already has an idea, we can just build on it. That's the best part for me. With Voice and Vision Agency and Crayon Maison, they are pretty different, but a lot of times they definitely coexist and coincide. Deja, my cousin, also has Faces by Deja. She's a makeup artist. Wow. So we've collaborated on a lot of projects together. What Crayon Maison kind of developed from back in 2024, we worked on a film together. So one of my best friends, Ivan Rome, is a filmmaker. He went to Columbia in New York, and the film was actually just in the African American Black Film Festival and a lot of film festivals.
That's what you went to.
I was in Miami. So it's been in a lot of film festivals. We've been doing that circuit, but I worked and did the social media, and then Deja was the makeup artist, and of course, like I said, we're cousins. So we both are naturally creative. and we're like, you know what, girl, let's do something together. So that's kind of what that came from.
So how does that merge work? You know, because you know the belief behind family shouldn't do business together. How are y'all able to communicate to each other so no ego or like, oh, I need to do this makeup or you know scheduling? How do y'all communicate that? How do y'all make that?
By over communicating. What's so funny is working with family, especially I'll say the women in our family, we're very outspoken. We're very creative, we're very communicative, and I would be lying if I say I think in any business, communication is key. Teamwork or working as a team and building can always be difficult. You know, we all sometimes people have a way of thinking about something. Maybe we have a different vision, but at the heart of it, we just, one, we love each other. Two, we love what we do, and we both are therapy girlies. So you know, we know how to communicate very well. But I think in any business relationship, the most important thing is having a willingness to understand, not being committed to just your own way of thinking. Because I think what makes a project or anything that you work on dynamic is having diverse perspectives. So since we both have an understanding of that, I think that's what helps us. But I think it's cool to work with your family, and but we since we are best friends, we're cousins, we're business partners, we definitely have to set aside time like, okay, this is for work, this is for play, this is for something else, because it's easy since we're always together. We're one of those people that we're those type of cousins, friends that are always on the phone, like literally on FaceTime from the beginning of the day probably to the end of the day. So it's very easy to talk about everything, but since our relationship is also very important to us, we have to set those boundaries to make sure that that we're developing and pouring love into our personal relationship, but also pouring love and developing our business.
I love that. And you spoke about, you know, being a therapy girly. How do you vet your therapist as far as like, do you work with just the first one you kind of find, or how do you source that? Because, you know, it may be a struggle to find a good therapist out here.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's virtual or in person.
So with therapy, I've actually tried therapy a few times before I was actually able to like commit to a person. So I would say the first time I started therapy was maybe in college, and I was kind of having one-off sessions. I was in college, I was young, kind of doing my thing, and I'm like, well, I feel like, you know, it would be beneficial to talk to somebody, but I never stuck to it. It wasn't until, I want to say, maybe 2022 or 2023 when I was like, you know what? Mental health is very important. Unfortunately, it's a stigma. There's a stigma to it in our community. You know, it's like, just pray it away and these things. But God also, exactly. And no matter what your beliefs are, I think that, you know, therapists, like doctors and any one of these experts were put on earth by God to help you if you need help or if you just need a safe space to vent. So for me, 2022 was when I decided to take it seriously. So my first therapist, the main thing for me is I knew I wanted to have a Black woman. That was very important. I didn't want to have to explain different isms. I know that, you know, culturally, you know, I'm not saying that you can't have a therapist. But there can be a disconnect.
Alignment with how your upbringing may align with mine, even though we may be in two different areas.
Exactly. I think it was important to me to have somebody that's culturally aware. And so I wanted a Black woman. That's just what I wanted. So the first therapist I had, she was cool. I just remember there was a bit of a disconnect, and I'm not sure if it was like an age gap or what it was, but she was helpful. But what happened actually is so crazy. I think she like broke her leg or something. And mind you, she had in-person and virtual. She like broke her leg, so she was out of office for a little while. So I went a while without going to her. And then I remember when she was back in office, it was really hard for me to reconnect with her. Like there was a lot of schedule conflicts. So I was like, maybe I'll just take this as a sign and I'll just wait and I'll just reconnect with her later. But then it got to a point when I was like, okay, I want to do therapy again. Maybe I just wasn't aligning with this person. So I sought out another therapist. I did my research. I wish I could remember the website that I used, but honestly, go in Google and put in Black therapist near me. That's what I did. I put in Black therapist near me. I found a center that I liked. I did my initial meeting with that person, and we've been locked in since then. So it's 2026. I want to say it might have been July of 2022 when I started regularly going into therapy. So that's 4 years. I've had the same therapist. I love my therapist down
Don't shy
so
away from
much.
therapy.
Yeah, I love her so much in a healthy way. I think that while we do have friends and family, and of course we know whatever your beliefs are, your spiritual beliefs, you have, that connection to be able to maybe process some of the things that you have going on in life, or if you have personal traumas, et cetera, whatever it is. I think it's great to have someone outside of like your regular life to talk to, especially one that's an expert. I think everybody could definitely benefit from therapy, no matter what. I have friends, I have family. I'm very, very close with my mother, and of course, I have my spiritual beliefs. I'm a Christian. But I also think it's important to have somebody that one is an expert and that's outside of your circle to talk to process. There's a lot of things, I can come to somebody that I'm close with and of course vent to them or seek some advice from them on what I'm going through. But it's nothing like having somebody like an outside perspective, because as much as maybe we hate to admit, since we are humans, our brains are already set to kind of categorize things, to kind of judge. And of course you can work against that, but you want some unbiased information.
You can't stop intrusive thoughts.
You can't.
And sometimes you need to express those to someone that may not judge you, or you may not think to overthink that they are going to judge you, because they're literally, hired and professionals to deal with that intrusive thought that you're dealing with. Yeah.
Exactly. And then I guess the one thing that I hate is that there's a lot of, negative views on therapy. Like I hate the word like crazy. You don't have to be deeply depressed or whatever you see on TV or whatever you think like, oh, to go to therapy, there's something wrong with me. No. Anybody and everybody can go to therapy and would benefit. Truly, I always say the people that are in therapy because for the people that they're around that will not go to therapy. If we all went to therapy, I think the world would be a beautiful place. I'm just saying we would all be, emotionally regulated.
It's important to be emotionally regulated. People don't understand how important your emotions are, because they may be stuck in one way, but if you look at the word, you just break it down simply. It's supposed to be in ways like it's okay to be mad or sad, or it's okay to lose that happiness, but know that it's coming back.
That is coming back. And I think that's one thing that I've learned is, one, through my faith, but then also through therapy, is that, of course, there'll be highs and there'll be lows. It's just all about how you handle those moments.
So what would you say is like a self-routine that you stick to that's helped you, whether it's mentally, physically, spiritually, outside of therapy, of course, because you have that. But that's more of like mental stimulation.
Right. I'm a wellness girly through and through. I do a little bit of everything. I'm really into yoga. Shout out to Under the North Star. It is a Black-owned, women-owned yoga studio in the West End.
Love that.
Yeah, love it so much. They offer so many different classes for everyone, and I've been going there consistently since they've opened, and I think that that's done a lot for my mind, body, and soul. So yoga. I've also recently joined Run Club. Shout out to the Pit Stop Runners. I think running, it's funny, I used to run a lot as a kid. My mom made me do track, cross country, and emphasis on make, like she made me. So I think that after having that time of doing it, being forced to, I'm like, I don't want to do it anymore. But then I want to say a couple months ago, I went to Run Club one day and I was like, oh my gosh, I like this. And since then, I've been back. And I think what I've realized over the last few months is like moving my body is a form of therapy in itself. Our bodies hold so much stress inside it. So exercise in general, running, whether that's running, yoga, cycling, whatever you like to do, just move your body. Also being outside in nature. I love to go on walks like with my dogs and just kind of like look at the trees and things like that. And then also I love sound baths. I just got a set of crystal bowls that I like to play. I love sound therapy. So
Yeah, I've been seeing your stories. I'm like, man, we need more of this. You need to make a reel at this point. Just so
I know,
on
right?
the timeline, for real.
I just put it on my story for real because I just got them, and over the last few years, I've gone to like a lot of sound baths with everything from like Tibetan bowls, crystal bowls. They have panda drums, just all of it. But then I've invested in some, and I'm super excited to play them. I actually want to go and like take a course so I can be certified, and then maybe do
there's
some
a difference when you know how to do it, and you're just like
doing it for the soul, just like, oh, this feels good. This is when I go to classes, this is what I see. So
yeah, I've been to a couple of sound baths in my life. It was really like, we need more of this in the culture, because it's like you said, there's a stigma around going to therapy. I feel like there's a stigma around like sound baths and yoga, because it's like
there are, I think,
crazy, or like, come on, it's like
people think it's woo woo, and to each their own, but a lot of these things are like scientifically proven. So if you're paying attention to like, or if you're interested in learning, I would just say go and do your research when it comes to like crystal bowls, Tibetan bowls. All of those are forms of instrument, and what happens is the frequency can be calming depending on which one you use. Again, I'm not an expert. Don't quote me on this. Go do your own research.
I've done my research. She knows what she's talking about.
Yeah, but I love it. So,
what would you say is your favorite yoga flow? Is it more fast paced or more like hold the pose and let's?
I love yoga in general, but I can't lie, I love a slow flow. What I love about Under the North Star, what I'll say, is with all of the classes they take, since, of course, it's a room of Black and brown people, and it's hosted by Black women, they typically have nice music. Oh, I love it. So Maya has Quiet Storm, and sometimes it'll be like a slower flow, but a lot of time it's power. We're sweating in there. Right. But I'm listening to D'Angelo, but I'm listening to Erykah Badu, but I'm listening to think about like the Quiet Storm radio, when that would come on. Yeah. So it's that kind of music while also doing exercise. So it's beautiful. So as long as I have some good music, a great instructor that is, kind of guiding us through it, I love it. I'm kind of down for anything.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I haven't done hot yoga though yet. I haven't done that. I've done hot Pilates, but I haven't done hot yoga.
Hot yoga would be pretty. Yeah, I've done it at Hot Works. Like,
how was that?
It was interesting.
Yeah.
It was real, like, because you can set your own temperature. So, like, if you want to make it real hot, you can make it real hot. It was like, you felt it. Yeah, it was almost like a workout, but like more calisthenic type. Just because, like, you're losing that energy, but you're also, like, kind of holding the pose that you need to stretch in. So then all that is just getting
done.
See,
I did hot Pilates with Botany Athletics, another amazing group, woman-owned
they be
in
selling out
Louisville.
every event.
They sell out. They do. Oh my goodness, it's so nice. So I think I've taken 2 classes. So one was inside Atomic. It was very, very hot. They turned the heat up, but they have a great DJ. Ooh. Shout out to Kiso. And it's a true workout. It looks pretty, but the girls and guys, everybody that's in there are putting in work. And then I went to another one that was outside of Atomic, warm day. So yeah, working out in the heat when they turn the heat up is no joke. It's no joke.
Okay, and what would you say is your favorite set that you did, and what is a dream set that you want to do if you had your own full creative freedom to?
My favorite set, I don't know if I can say a favorite set because I love,
they all look very unique. And
this is what I'll say. I think, so we started Crayon Maison, I want to say our first shoot might have been in September or October. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember. About a year ago. And the first set that we did was the best set we could do at that time. That's what we were coming with. We, made a mood board. We got our creative brains together and put that together. And each time we worked with a new creative and drew inspiration from them and who they are, drew inspiration kind of from what we saw. Together, we built something beautiful. So I think each set that I've built is the best that I could do at that time.
I love that answer. That's that's something that I would say with my podcast.
I'm I'm serious though.
Okay, so what would be your like dream set if you had full creative direction to do?
My dream set? I'm not sure if I have a dream set right now, but anything involving nature and flowers, when we finally do our gallery, or even if you go on Crayon Maison, you can see some of the pictures. Those aren't the pictures that are going to be in the gallery, but they're still really good ones. You see a lot of themes of you see florals, you see a lot of foliage, you see a lot of grass and things like that. So I love working with those kind of materials, working with nature. But a dream set probably would be anything that we've done, but on an even larger scale.
So y'all looking to expand the business?
Oh, for sure. We have a lot of things coming up. We'll save that for the next one.
Who aren't you? We're going to, that'd be nice. Okay, my last question is, what is your message to the YNs?
Oh my! First of all,
young black kings.
That's what I was gonna say. Pause. I honestly do not like the term YNs for a couple of reasons. Not to be the fun killer. I'm sorry. I think that whenever you create terms like that, one, it makes it where everybody can say it. So I'll be on social media and I'm seeing people that don't look like me that are saying YNs, that are maybe sometimes using that ninja emoji for the other word and switching it in there, and I don't like that. I think there's a lot of, when people use YN, there's a stigma with that, and then I think that some of the people that are calling these people YNs don't really have that same connection that some people do. I know y'all's aunties, I know y'all's family members, I might have seen you at the park, or I grew up around you, so I'm not looking at you and judging you, but I think that whenever you use a term like that, it leaves it open for anybody to use it and anybody to say it, and then it can be dehumanizing. That's just how I feel about it.
The open interpretation, people could project themselves on that and make it something that it was never even intended to be. Yeah.
So while it may be a running joke in our community, it's not a running joke. In others, people are dead serious about what they're saying. But a message to the young kings and queens and everyone in between, because I believe in all identities. I would say to just trust yourself and your intuition. I think what I always tell people, everything that I'm doing right now is a love letter to my younger self. I think that when I was a kid, I was just unapologetic. I'm loud, I'm creative, I'm expressive, but over time, life tells you to be quiet, tells you to fit a mold, to do what you're supposed to do, and not saying that you shouldn't follow some rules. Some rules matter. You don't want to run a red light, you may hurt somebody. But as far as the social constructs, you don't have to fit in.
Agreement.
Yeah, you don't have to fit into that. When I was younger, so I've lived in a couple different places. I've lived in Indiana, here in Kentucky, I lived in Georgia, in Texas. That's a whole nother thing. But when I was in Indiana specifically, I've always been a yapper. I remember I was in 7th grade, and at a certain point, they made a rule that I could only ask a certain amount of questions a day. Literally. So I was on this team. Mind you, I was on the team for advanced students. There weren't a lot of black children in that program, so I'm one of maybe 5. And granted, we're in Indiana, so keep that in mind. So I guess I was asking too many questions. And then also I was very loud, so it was now you can only ask so many questions a day. So I remember one time, I genuinely had a question for one of my history teachers. His name was Mr. Brown. And I went to ask him a question, and he was like, before you ask me that question, go across the hall to Miss, I want to say her name was Hardy, and ask her if I care about what you're about to ask me.
Oh.
I promise this is not a joke. This happened. So, as a kid, I don't know, I guess it took me until afterwards to realize what was happening. So I go, and I remember I asked, and she's like, oh, it's a question that he definitely doesn't care. And I remember as I was walking back, I said, oh, I'm the butt of a joke. So, I'm definitely one of them kids. I'm like, oh, I'm going to go tell my mom. Yeah. I'm telling. So it was a whole situation.
Y'all crossed the line at this point.
Y'all crossed the line. That's insane that people treat children that way. So I remember it was a whole thing, and But I say that all to say is that there will be literal people. Sometimes you're not just battling your own head. There's literal people that will see a light in you and try to diminish it. So I just say that listen to, go to a quiet space and listen to yourself. Try to be in tune with yourself. And the best way to do that is practicing mindfulness, having quiet time, whether you want to do reflection out loud, you want to do reflection in a journal. Also having people around you that know you, that know who you are and whose you are, is very important to remind you. So in the situation that I gave you, very hard situation. Actually, it's a little traumatizing.
I appreciate you sharing that, by the way. That was a very vulnerable moment that you shared on the spot. I appreciate you.
Thank you. It was very, when you're a kid.
It hurt me.
Oh my gosh, it hurt my feelings so bad as a kid, and it hurts my feelings for that little girl then. But like I said, everything that I do now is for her. And just stay in tune with yourself and don't let anybody tell you that you can't do anything, and ask a lot of questions, be loud, challenge ways of thinking and the things around you. Definitely, of course, do it in a safe way, but that's the advice I have. I
appreciate you. And at this point, the trip has reached its destination, man. I know you enjoyed this journey with Naila. We appreciate you again for pulling up.
Thank you.
And as we always say, life's a trip. We out.